Now to a dire warning about climate change. According to a new report, experts say that we have until 2030 to avoid catastrophe. It also says if unprecedented changes are not made and made soon, there will be irreversible damage to the planet.
The ice thickness has changed dramatically throughout the years. We've noticed that the ice is getting thinner and thinner every year, and that late into the fall, sometimes all the way into winter, we'll still have open water in Barrow. We never used to have that. It's all melting, it's changing quick.
Seen from space, you could almost say Irma looks beautiful. From ground level, though, she has a very different face. The Caribbean island of St. Martin hit by 185-mile-an-hour winds, and Irma is still going, heading perhaps for the US mainland. It is what we sometimes rather helplessly refer to as an act of God. No one to blame, nothing to be done but pick through the wreckage, mourn the dead and count the cost. But with two major hurricanes one after another, is this perhaps something else, an act of man, or at least man-made climate change?
For centuries, the rays of the sun have warmed the surface of our Earth's crust. And apparently those rays are intensifying in such a way that it's increasing lava flows. And
Cut!
I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Global warming is an issue that my administration is very concerned about, deeply in a deep kind of concerned way.
This is Sam Sparks, live from Chew and Swallow, where Spaghetti Twister...
Whoa, Sam, hey! We love a good storm over here, but you look like a nerd.
Patrick, several children are stranded in the path of this tomato tornado.
My tummy hurts.
Go!
Swirling a path of
Yikes! What is that, a scrunchie? I haven't seen one of those since 1995.
We have an actual weather emergency.
Oh, no! Well, we'll get right back to that storm, and hopefully Sam will look a little more appealing.
Climate change is quite simply an existential threat for most life on the planet, including and especially the life of humankind.
In a recent symposium at the American Geophysical Union, scientists showed how human-driven climate change has directly contributed to extreme weather all over the world. This is the latest step in a slow trend. Climate scientists haven't always had enough data to be this certain. Instead, scientists have historically been careful about what they conclude about climate drivers. When the IPCC made its 2014 assessment report about the effects of human activity on the climate, for example, it dealt in likelihood, not certainty. But as scientists gather more data, there are some things they can make stronger calls about. In 2016, thanks to reams of research, they could point to long-term temperature spikes that humans almost certainly caused. And in certain cases, scientists now have the numbers and the data to support direct links between climate change and the probability or intensity of an individual event. Their latest report includes 17 examples of extreme events and how they relate to human-caused climate change. Making these cause and effect connections can help communities plan and respond when extreme weather threatens. And there's no time like the present. Scientists expect extreme events will become more common as the planet warms.
Limiting warming to 1.5 degrees is not impossible, but will require unprecedented transitions in all aspects of society.
It used to be that 2 degrees of global warming was seen as a kind of safe limit, but today's report suggests it's way beyond our environmental comfort zone. In the Arctic, with 1.5 degrees warming, ice-free summers could come once every 100 years. With 2 degrees of warming, it would be ice-free every decade. With 1.5 degrees, 10 million fewer people are affected by sea level rise. At 2 degrees, small Pacific islands and large parts of countries like Bangladesh are lost to the sea. And with 1.5 degrees, 70 to 90% of coral reefs are lost. But at 2, it's virtually all of them.
Positive feeling, a real message of hope for a generation that are tired of not having their voices heard and not being listened to, and fed up with knowing of a planet that we will have to deal with unless the government decide to listen to us today and listen to the future of their own country.
Years left to try and change our system, and I'll be 28 by the time this irrevocable change is done. So we're doing this because we're fighting for our future.
A clarion call for a dramatic change.
We choose to assert ourselves as a global leader in transitioning to 100% renewable energy.
We will save all of creation by engaging in massive job creation.
As a non-binding resolution, the Green New Deal sets the goal of forging a carbon emissions-free economy. It calls for a 10-year national mobilization to remake power production, transportation, manufacturing, and farming. It also sets forth guarantees for worker retraining, higher education, health care, and retirement benefits.
Today is the day that we truly embark on a comprehensive agenda of economic, social, and racial justice in the United States of America. That's what this agenda is all about. Because climate change and our environmental challenges are one of the biggest existential threats to our way of life. Not just as a nation, but as a world. And in order for us to combat that threat, we must be as ambitious and innovative in our solution as possible.
I say today that it is time for us to be bold once again. We have the technology to do it. We have the moral obligation. We have the economic imperative. We just need the political will to get this done. The sun is setting on the dirty energy of the past. Today marks the dawn of a new era of climate action.
Train whistles, sweet clementine, blueberries, dancers in line, cobwebs, a bakery sign, hoo hoo, a sweet clementine, hoo hoo, dancers in if living is seeing, I'm home.
There's so many things that can happen in the future, but right now our future is threatened by climate change. However, we can work together to make the environment better.
We can do things like developing technology to generate more alternative energy sources like nuclear fusion that will not only benefit the energy sector, but will lead to technological advancements in other fields, create a world where the air is better so fewer people will have asthma and fewer people will be subject to extreme weather and rising sea levels.
We could potentially have a completely sustainable future. However, if we don't work together, then the future is looking very dull. Future generations won't be able to live as well as we do now, and they won't be able to witness nature as it is now. There is also a high probability of more wars and death because natural resources wouldn't be as readily available.
In order to prevent a future with global destruction, then it is important that we all contribute to fighting against climate change.
Since it is our future in danger, then it is our duty to take action. There are many ways we can all help out. Here are a few ways you can help our environment in your daily life as a college student.